I'm very glad to be here for the first time this year. You look beautiful. Even you? Oh, come on. So today I'm going to talk about the State of Nuxt for this year. I'm at Nuxt, also known as Sebastien Chopin, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Nuxt Labs. So Nuxt Labs, what is it? It's a French company I founded in March 2017 with Alex, my brother, and we offer different services, such as support, on-demand consulting and audit, and training and workshops for React developers, for Vue developers. And we work on two products. Volta, that you may have seen, we use it for managing all the issues and pull requests and the amount of notification you don't want to have on GitHub. If you overwhelm, I suggest you to try Volta. And also Studio, to be able to live edit our documentation, because we love Markdown, we love people that can contribute to the documentation, so we try to have something to contribute faster. On the other hand, we have Nuxt, which is an independent and open source framework under the MIT license that I created in October 2016. And we have an open source governance on GitHub, on Nuxt/governance, and it's composed of authors, a project lead, who is now Daniel Rowe, and core team members that we pick from various contributors. Some of you are here, and maybe some of you will be a core team member, I hope. And the funds for Nuxt comes from the sponsorship, so thank you for all of you sponsoring Nuxt, and various partnerships, such as education, like mastering Nuxt, sending templates, and having these job boards. We collaborate with Nuxt Labs by sponsoring Nuxt and making a dream come true for some great developers to work full-time on Nuxt and keep Nuxt being community-driven. We also sponsor various Vue and Nuxt community members that you may recognize. So, what do we have today? Last time I was here, it was not there, and today, it is here. Finally, after 2 years and a half, Nuxt 3 is out. And even today, we released Nuxt 3.2.0. So if you haven't upgraded to Nuxt 3, you can already upgrade to Nuxt 3.2. And there is nice features inside that my colleagues, my friends, will show you after. Today, recently, we reached 2 million monthly NPM downloads. And Nuxt 3 represents 30% of those downloads. So thank you very much, because Nuxt 3 stable version was released 85 days ago, if my calculation is correct. And Vue has approximately the same number of downloads, 15 million, and Vue 3 represents 35% of downloads. So we are very close in the adoption. And I do hope we are going to skyrocket Vue 3 next year. Nuxt 3 is still very small. We're talking about 38 kilobytes of JavaScript. If you were here last year, you can see the comparison with Nuxt 2, which is around 80 kilobytes. And I need water for the next slide. So what do we have in Nuxt 3? We have server-side rendering since day one, client-side rendering, which is without server-side rendering, static-side generation when you run Nuxt generate, edge-side rendering if you want to deploy on Cloudflare workers, Dino deploy, and this new platform where you can deploy on the edge. We have this hook system. I don't know if some of you have used them, but you can hook into the Nuxt engine on the server part or on the client. You can also change the rendering mode on demand. We have the file system router, one of the most appreciated features of Nuxt. Auto import, so we were even lazier for Nuxt 3. We don't want to import anything while having this tree shaking. So we have the auto import for component and composable, data fetching, because it's important when you do server-side rendering to don't fetch twice. Middleware, plugins, because we all like Vue plugins, layouts, transitions. You can now create server API routes with hot module replacement in development. You don't need to restart your server. For those who use Nuxt 2 and created API route, you know what it is to restart the Nuxt server with Webpack. We have TypeScript with 0 configuration, so you can enjoy type and even the pieces of documentation in your VS Code. State management, we have useState, but you can also use Pinia or other state management. We have the island component that lands in 3.1, which are similar to server components that don't ship JavaScript code. We have this layer system, which is very powerful, that allow you to extend another Nuxt app that can be an NPM package that you can share across your team while having hot module replacement in development, but I don't have the time to show you this. We have preprocessors if you like to use Sass, stylers. We have this module ecosystem. We have SEO helpers. We have Nuxt vtest, recently created by Daniel and Anthony. So you can test your Nuxt app with vtest. We have post-CSS support, and we have many, many features. Wait, dancing is coming soon. Next time, I just put dancing, and it will be enough. So all of this, so you can focus, and this is since the creation of Nuxt, so you can focus on building and writing Vue files. So I wanted to test it, if it's true. So I created a demo when I was in the train yesterday, and it's called @notes. If you have a better idea for the name, please send me a message. So basically, it's a website that I can edit by double-clicking, and I say @notes in Amsterdam. Then it's saved. If I refresh the page, it's there. I can use a component. This is a Vue component. And it's working. That's simple, a simple website that I can edit on the edge. So how does this work? If you try to go on the website and edit it right now, don't. Because I protect it with a password. So if you use the wrong password, I won't give it now, you won't be able to edit. Come on. So how does it look like? I have a Nuxt 3 application, Nuxt content module. Can everyone see, or should I go with a light theme? I guess everyone see. So I define a Nitro storage. On production, I'm using Cloudflare. And in development, I'm using the file system driver. For unstorage Nitro, I suggest you to watch Vuejs talk. Then this is how I define my config. And this is also how I can define a post-CSS plugin. Then I have 2 API routes. One to edit the page using useStorage, setting the slug, which is index. In my case, I have only 1 page. And this is how I get it. My index page has some state here. If I'm editing, if I'm saving, this is for the focus mode when I double-click. Then I'm fetching my page. I'm parsing, using Nuxt content to parse the markdown. This is not very important, but for Shiki to work, it has to be on client side, not on Cloudflare workers yet. And then I'm saving using an API call. And that's it, actually. That's how I made the website. To publish it, I simply have to say Nitro preset Cloudflare, building, and then pushing with the CLI from Cloudflare. If I take a look at the stats, we can see that 75% of the requests answer in less than 2 milliseconds. And I do have server-side rendering, and it costs me 50 cents for 10 million requests. This is what you can do today. I mean, that's what I try to do in the train. So it works. I was able to focus on building a simple application that normally you cannot destroy today, except if you guess the password, which is very small. So let's talk about the vision for 2023. For some of you who have read the article, then you can go on Twitter for the next 2 slides. We want to help you migrate to Nuxt 3. As you know, the end of life of Vue 2 is planned for the end of this year, except if Evan changes it tomorrow. And Evan. And we plan and hope to have at least 51% of Nuxt 3 download. So I count on you to tell your boss to migrate to Nuxt 3. How we can do this? Well, we are going to release a stable version of Nuxt Bridge and also backport features from Nuxt 3 to Nuxt 2.17 to ease the migration. We are working on having new examples, not this example we have today on the website that showcase only one specific feature, but full-blown example with authentication, integration of different CMS, and UI layer. So you can get started or directly see the source code and get up and running. And workshops. We are going to give the official workshop that we've been working the last 2 months for companies that want to migrate. So for this, you can check out the Nuxt Lab stand if your company wants to migrate. The release cycle. We released Nuxt 3 in November, and right now we in Nuxt 3.2. We want a major release every year, so at the end of this year, we should have Nuxt 4 with fewer breaking changes. Minor release should be every month with new features, and patch release every week. I know we still have 2 websites, nuxtjs.org for Nuxt 2, nuxt.com for Nuxt 3. We are going to migrate the documentation from Nuxt 2 to nuxt.com, and you will be able to switch. It looks small like this, but it's not that easy with the SEO and other redirects to make, but we're getting there. We're also focusing on key modules. Nuxt Image is very close to the stable release. Nuxt Out is coming. The Nitro release from yesterday includes sessions, so it's coming. We want to have it minimal. Nuxt Font and Nuxt Script. I'm sure you already worked with a designer that wants you to use this specific font, or the marketing team that wants you to include this third-party script, and you worked hard for this Lighthouse score to be great. Well, with these 2 modules, we'll make sure that you don't have to worry about this, and we're working with Google Chrome or Aurora team to make sure that it doesn't affect the speed of your website. We also have a new developer experience coming for Nuxt 3, but I will let Anthony show you how it looks like. And some features we're exploring for Nuxt 3.x. I'm thinking of the data fetching. So far, we didn't have this in Nuxt 2, but since in Nuxt 3 we leverage suspense, if you do data fetching in your page and in the nested page, you also do data fetching, there will be sequential. Daniel made a proof of concept to have the possibility to have parallel data fetching. So this is coming, and we will also leverage this to have different strategies, such as tail while we validate. Hybrid rendering, it's working. You have to define it in your Nuxt config, but we want to bring it at the page level. So you'll be able to define that this page will have a cache of an hour, this page will be pre-rendered, and etc. We also want to, well, it's been 4 years I'm presenting this CLI, but it's super hard to make. Good luck trying to update the nuxtconfig.ts programmatically, but we are getting there with the new CLI Puya is working on. And lastly, something I have been exploring is Markdown pages. I know we have Nuxt content, we have the document-driven mode, but I'm too lazy. I simply want to have markdown pages in the pages directory. Here, it's a proof of concept. The SEO meta tag will be used for use SEO meta helper, and the meta property will be used for define page meta. So you can use different layout, you can specify a middleware, and this is working. So I don't know in which release it will be, but it's coming. And since I'm talking about Markdown, I want to show you a demo of what we've been working on to edit our documentation. So I know there is the demo effect, but we'll pray for it to work. So this is Nuxt Studio. I will try to update my website live. So I have the same interface as I can have in development with VS Code. And now I say that I am speaking. So so we improved the editor to have the auto-completion based on your components you use in content. And I am now speaking at Vuejs Amsterdam. That should be good. We also, so this is the editor on top of your content directory. I don't know if you're already using the app config, but we also found a way to edit your application config. So if I want to edit this weird icon I have on the website to something better, let's say that I want a basketball, I can do this. Let's say I'm happy of the current state, and I push on stage. Normally, we deploy. I'm using a Vercel for that website with static site generation. But I can do more. So what we've been working on is the ability to import your project or to select from one of the templates. So you may have seen those templates we published, Alpine for a blog, Docus for a documentation, or ContentWin for a portfolio. What you can do is use this template, add it to an existing repository on GitHub. It's pretty useful if you have a library and you want to add a documentation to it, or create a GitHub repository. Then, because we don't want to do the hosting, you can deploy it where you want, or you can deploy on GitHub page and we just put the GitHub action for you. But what I want to try and what I'm showing you this is I never had the opportunity to see if the live editing works with 1,000 people. So if it breaks the server, I will kill you, Baptiste. Not literally, but. So what I'm going to do is edit Tailwind CSS. I know the guy who did the module, so it should be fine. Ah, you didn't know I was going to edit this website, huh? So I will say, hello, Amsterdam. I will remove the logo. Say, Vue Amsterdam. Saving. I will create a branch. Come on. And open a pull request. So what I want to see is, will that work if you also click on this preview link? So let's open a pull request. So any change I will apply to the content directory or the app config, Nuxt Studio will be able to generate a preview link that is ready. And let me copy paste. So at that time, you can take your phone, try to go on the website.
Can you go down a little bit?
Like this? OK. So normally, you should be able to see the preview. And if I stay on this branch, and let's say I'm changing the primary color, so normally it should be the 600, and make it orange, you should be able to see this edit in real time. Thank you. Woo! So Studio is in private beta. It's completely free. We want to see what you guys are capable of building on this. And we're opening the seed starting next week because we want to make sure that we don't break anything. That is for the Markdown editing. I've been fond of Markdown for a while. And I think I'm out of time right now. So thank you very much for your time.